Hey y'all, welcome back. So for today's video, we're going to be fixing, heavy quotations there, some Gen 1 Monster High dolls. So I did this starting off last year. I did holiday Barbies, and then earlier this year I did a video where I fixed and made some edits to some Rainbow High and Shadow High designs, and you guys seem to enjoy them. So we're back again today to do the same thing with some Gen 1 Monster High dolls. Basically, I just took some old Monster High dolls that I didn't think were the worst of the worst, where I'm like, this is utterly unsavable, but I just took some that I thought could use some improvements, and I did a little bit of editing to see if I could make them align a little bit more with my personal taste. A key thing there is that it is just my personal opinion here. You might absolutely hate the edits that I did. You might think that the dolls were perfect to begin with, and that's totally okay. I'd love to hear all of your opinions in the comments down below, but this is just a fun little exercise for me that I like to do because it's fun to imagine what the dolls might look like if they were designed just slightly differently. Again, slightly more in line with my personal taste, and I think it's an interesting thing to share with you guys. If you do find yourself enjoying, if you could give the video a like, that's very helpful to me. If you're new here and you have fun today, definitely subscribe so you can see more. And then if you want to go out of your way to support me, I have links and stuff in the description down below. In addition, if you do enjoy the video, I'm more than happy to keep doing this with other doll lines. I can do other Monster High lines. I mentioned that before in my last video that just let me know what doll lines you want me to do this for, and I'm happy to see if I can do some edits and make some little adjustments here and there. And as long as you guys keep enjoying it, I'm happy to keep doing it. So definitely let me know. But without further ado, let's jump into the edits that I made. Alrighty, so the first edit that I did was to this Cleo. I want to say this was the Wave 2 Cleo, but of course, the second that I need to know which doll this is, the information slips my brain. So whatever, this particular Cleo here, I've talked about her on the channel before. My biggest thing is that these wraps on her arms, like these, I just feel like the colors are a little bit weird. The pattern is a little bit weird to me. So that was the main thing that I changed, although I did make one other pretty big change. And let's just take a look at what I did. So I did take away the black leggings. I just felt like where they were hitting with the shoes just kind of made it look a little bit strange. That's just a personal thing. So I just gave her the skirt and then left the other bandages there just as bandages instead of being on top of the leggings. And then I obviously did change the color. I just think this kind of greenish color that I gave instead of that weirdly greeny yellow color matches a lot better, again, in my opinion, because I just think that in the original, the color of this yellow and the color of the gold, I genuinely don't think that they're actually that far off, but they just feel really at odds with each other for me personally. So I thought that this kind of deeper teal color fit a little bit better with the colors that she already had going. And I also found that once I added the teal color instead of the yellow, I really didn't mind the pattern nearly as much. So this whole time I thought it was the pattern, but really it was just the color, it turns out. So this is one that I think is really, really solid. I feel again, just to my personal taste, I like this a lot better. I feel like she looks a little bit more cohesive and a little bit less busy, because that was part of the thing that I didn't like about her original design, is I just thought there was a lot happening and it didn't flow together well enough. So I think this is a really solid one. Of course, I'm going to say that about all of them, and I'm going to stand by my work here, but I would be curious to see what you guys think, because I think this is a pretty big improvement. Okay, this next one, again, cannot for the life of me remember which exact Abby this is, because why would I ever be that prepared for a video? That's so silly. But I think this is the one that I honestly made the most adjustments to, and also the one that I'm low-key the least happy with, but that's because this is probably the doll that I dislike the most out of all of these. So as I said in the intro, I try to pick dolls where I feel like they just need a little bit of tweaking to really get them to where I want to be. And this Abby was more of a challenge that I posed to myself, because personally, I like Abby a lot more in more pastel colors. And there is some pastel happening here, but there also is a lot of black in her design. And I felt like the easiest way to edit it would actually be to kind of lean into that. So this one is a little bit less my personal taste, but I still think that I was able to improve her a little bit and kind of just make the design feel better overall. So let's get into the changes that I made. First of all, those boots, I really didn't like how they seemed so light. They're meant to be kind of a gray black, but because of the level of transparency, it honestly just looks kind of like dirty ice to me, which is not a vibe. So I went ahead and I made them a lot more saturated black. It also kind of brought down the black from the little shrug thing that she's got going on to her feet. So it's more evenly dispersed throughout the outfit. I just figured if I wasn't going to get rid of the black, I might as well lean into it and try to make it balance out a little bit more. The biggest thing was I had to change those tights. I just think it's way too much with the pattern of the tunic dress situation she's got going on here. So I made them just gray tights to kind of tie in with the little I need a better color so you can see when I circle. the silver situation she's got going on at the top of her dress. I figured some gray tights would kind of work with that. I want them to give the illusion of being glittery. I don't know if I gave like that enough. I don't know if I was successful in that, but that's what I was going for with the bit of texture in there, is like maybe some shimmery tights. I did give her a silver headband. I just thought her head looked a little bit empty, like she had a lot going on the rest of her outfit, and like not really anything going on accessories wise, especially like in the hair situation. So I wanted to give her a silver headband, again, to tie into the silver on the top. And then the last thing that I changed was the pattern on the dress. So I'll show you like the before and after side by side, of course, but this is what it looks like before, and I don't know what this is supposed to be. Like, I genuinely am not sure what this pattern is meant to be reminiscent of, because like my brain wants to say crystals, but I'm just not really getting that. So I did just kind of like a sharp geometric pattern on here. I did just do the purple so that it was a little bit more simplistic. We could let the pink just be in her bag and in her hair. I don't know. I just felt like this design like calmed it down a bit. I feel like the original Abby, too much was happening, and it was like not too much in a good way. So I was trying to make it a little bit more cohesive, tone it down just a smidge. And I genuinely do think this is an improvement. I don't think that it's like to the level where I actively would buy a doll that looked like this, just because again, I prefer Abby in like the more pastel colors, and like, so this just isn't my thing kind of to begin with. But I do think it was a fun exercise to kind of take a doll that I dislike a lot more and try to fix her. And it took a little bit more effort than some of the others, but I do think, again, I can't say this enough, to my personal taste, I think that this is definitely an improvement, and I think this is more close to a doll that I would buy, so I'll take that as a win. Next up is another doll that I have complained about a lot on this channel here, and that is the 13 Wishes Laguna. I'm gonna like not mention the movie thing, because I just think the fact of her changing to a freshwater creature was like really messed up, like from a plot perspective, but we're just looking at a design standpoint here. And from the design standpoint alone, my biggest issue has always been the yellow of her hair. I don't know, some Lagunas had like a very, very intense yellow hair, and I just don't like the way that it looks on her, at least in Gen 1. I prefer her with like the more desaturated blonde kind of color as opposed to this really intense yellow. And so that was the first thing that I wanted to fix. And then after that, I realized there were some other things that I wanted to fix. So first thing I did was I went ahead and I did desaturate that hair, and I just feel like this looks more like Laguna to me. I don't know what it is. The yellow just isn't really working for me. And then after that, I realized that I also didn't like the really intense green. So I did change the color on her shoes. My bad here, I'm on the wrong layer. I changed the color on her shoes. There was yellow on her shoes as well, and I got rid of that. And then I changed like the accessory points here to kind of be more of a like tealish color, like a very dark teal instead of that very bright green. I don't know, like it definitely changes the entire vibe of this doll, and I kind of like that. I mean, obviously I didn't like the original doll, so the goal is to kind of change the entire vibe. But yeah, just a little bit of color adjustment there. I didn't really change the silhouette or anything. Like I left her dress alone. I just thought she needed different colors. And I think the last thing, yeah, I darkened her lips as well. I'm a sucker for a dark lip, clearly. And I thought that it would look good with Laguna here, and I also thought it was like closer to the color of some of the accessories that I ended up giving her, so I just felt like it tied everything together a little bit better. And this one I really, really do like it's not a huge change, it's not a big edit like with Abby, it's really just switching the colors around a little bit. But for a lot of dolls, I honestly think that's enough. Like I just think the colors need a bit of tweaking for a lot of dolls, and this Laguna was definitely one of those. And I don't know if I would have bought her if she looked like this. Like, I don't know if she excites me enough to the point where I would have, like, spent money on her. But I definitely think she is less of an eyesore for me. So, again, I'll count that as a win. Then we are going to be taking a look at Kiyomi Haunterly from Haunted. This is one that I honestly started off being like, I'm going to make exactly one change, and it's going to be kind of lame for the video, but it's a one change that needs to be made. And then I ended up making a few other changes here and there. So, like, it all works out in the end. The thing that I needed to change was the shoes, because I couldn't stand that the shoes were the only piece of black on Kiyomi's outfit. Like everything else was a cohesive color scheme. And then there were just these random black shoes, like looking at the original again. That just, it throws it off so bad for me. So I did make them closer to this like purple color that she has going on with most of her outfit. I just thought that it made it match better. And then to kind of balance it out, because it was still slightly a different color, I also darkened this neck piece here that she has, because I don't know, I like when colors aren't present on like just one piece of an outfit. I like for it to kind of be present throughout an outfit. I don't know what that is. I don't know why I'm like that, but that's just something that really is something I personally enjoy. And then once I had changed that, I realized that looking back at the original, the only thing that she has that is like this blue color, on the wrong layer again, but you know what I'm talking about. Her hair clip is the only thing that is that kind of tealy blue color, except for a little bit in her dress. And so I did want to change that as well. And I made her belt that more teal color. And then since I was already having fun with it, I also did the little like details in her chains to be the blue color, just so that it had a few more little pops of that vibrancy kind of going throughout the outfit. And I think this is really fun. So again, very much like Laguna, all that I did was change some of the colors around, but I do think that it made her just a bit more cohesive. I think this is a really beautiful doll to begin with. Like the original is already a very pretty doll, but I think with these changes, it's just like a little bit more balanced in terms of where the colors are used and how like sporadically placed they are throughout the design. And I think this one's really solid. It's not a big change, but I feel like that little bit of difference honestly is so big when you look at it visually and makes a really nice impact. Okay, so this next one is the Freak de Chic Claudine, and if you've been here for a while, you already know what I'm going to change, and I also need to go on a rant with this one, okay? I'm going to be a little bit petty, because I talk about this doll all the time, where I'm like, this doll has been like whitewashed, and it's weird to me. I know she's meant to be closer to a black and white design, in this case black, white, and purple, but she's very, very pale compared to the original Claudine, and because I'm a petty bitch, I'm going to show you that. So I have the original Claudine here, and we're going to do a fun little experiment just because I just get so frustrated sometimes. Like, I don't know, this is something that I think is really frustrating, that they changed Claudine's skin tone, and I just feel like proving my point because, I don't know, I'm annoying. So I'm going to take 3 little example colors from the Freak de Chic Claudine and then also the core Claudine. So this first one is going to be the highlight colors, H for highlight. And then we're going to try to get more of like her base mid-tone with the second set of colors. That was still kind of light, but we'll call that M for mid-tone. And then we're going to pull from a shadow for the last set of colors. Because I want to get like a good spread. You know, these are 3D objects where the like lighting is going to be different on them, and there's going to be points of the face that are lighter, points of the face that are darker. So in an effort to be as fair as possible, we have the highlight, the mid-tone, and then the shadow. So now what I'm going to do is take this layer. All of these are obviously the Freak de Chic on top, and then the bottom layer is all of the core Claudine's colors. I'm just going to take the saturation and turn it all the way down to 0, so it is just flat out black and white. And the shadow is like significantly darker on Claudine's, but I think that she's got more shadow on her face in this photo. Really pay attention though to the mid-tones and the highlights. Keep in mind, these are all the Freak de Chic ones on top. And then these are all core Claudine. So even if you desaturate core Claudine's skin tone and you just make it black and white, it's still darker than what we got in Freak de Chic. So it's not like this doll was just desaturated. She genuinely was made to be a lighter skinned doll than the core Claudine. And listen, I know I'm being really petty. I just needed to prove my point there. That's not really the point of this video, but I had an opportunity to include it, and so I took it. But what we are looking at is the change that I made, which predictably is going to be her skin tone, because I do really like the design of this doll. It just has always rubbed me the wrong way that she's so pale. Because again, like I get that she's supposed to be more black and white, but as we exhibited, she could have been black and white, but also still been like her proper tone. So taking that off, I did darken up her skin tone. I added a little bit of saturation back in because like she isn't all black and white anyway. She's black, white, and purple. So I feel like it wasn't going to be a terrible thing for her to have a hint of that brown tone to her skin. I didn't do like full saturation because I get what this doll was going for. I get that it wasn't supposed to be fully saturated, but I did deepen her skin tone so that like she wasn't quite as whitewashed. And yeah, I don't think that this makes the doll bad. I feel like it just makes it less of a weird thing for me. This one was a personal vendetta, okay? Because like I will die on this hill that this was a weird choice to make for Freak de Chic Claudine. So I don't know. Sorry if I went on a little tangent there. Sorry if this doesn't quite fit the tone of the rest of the video, but this one irked me, and so I had to put it in here. For the last doll that we're taking a look at today, though, we are back to like just the fun vibes, no animosity here. This is the Fierce Rockers Venus, and I do think she's like a cool base doll. I think there's a lot of good about this doll. I don't know, I tend to like Fierce Rockers more than I think most people who are fans of Gen 1 Monster High liked this line, but I will say that I think she's missing a certain something, like she needs a little bit more oomph. She's not quite done. So that is what I tried to add. So here are my changes. The first thing is that I did black out her shoes just because I thought the purple was kind of really random. It's not anywhere else in the design, and I just felt like the black went better, especially with the Fierce Rockers. Like Venus already had kind of a punk design, and for Fierce Rockers that also is kind of more on the edgy side, I just thought that the black really worked better. I did give her, or attempt to give her, like a little fishnet shirt here. I know it's kind of janky, but like this is just a quick little edit, but I felt like she needed some sort of layer underneath the shirt that she has going on. Her arms just looked a little bit empty to me, and like there wasn't quite enough happening there. And I am a sucker for a good fishnet, okay? So is it something easy? Yes. Is it like kind of a cop-out? I don't know, maybe depending upon who you ask. But for me, you can never go wrong with adding a little bit of fishnet. And I did want the like seam, or not the seam, the collar of the fishnet to be a solid pink to kind of go with the pink straps on her shirt. This could all be one piece or it could be multiple pieces, but I just thought that that would look cute. I also made her earrings green because she has the green vines and like some green on her skirt, but there's a lot of pink going on, and especially in her hair. She doesn't really have the green in her hair like a lot of Venus dolls do, and I thought the pink earrings with the pink hair, like the earrings were just kind of blending in, even though we have this collar in between them, so they weren't technically blending in. It just felt like a lot of pink all in the same place, and I wanted the green to be somewhere else, so I did go ahead and make those green. And then I gave her black lipstick because, again, I'm a sucker for a good dark lip, and I just feel like it's a good look for Monster High dolls. Like, it just always fits in, at least to me. Maybe that's just my bias showing through, but I feel like they always look good with a black lip. And Venus, especially with this look where she's supposed to be a fierce rocker, I just felt like the black lip would look really cool, and especially because she does have so many fangs of her little like plant monster teeth. The white of the fangs against the black lipstick I thought is a really cool stark contrast, and it just looks super, super interesting. It's almost like a graphic lipstick, but it's just her fangs, and I found this really exciting. So this one might be my favorite edit, which is so funny because I honestly had a little bit of trouble trying to figure out what to do with her. Like, it took me a little bit of time to identify what I didn't like about the doll. But once I did, I feel like she looks so solid like this, and it wasn't a lot of changing. It's just mostly color, again, with like the little addition of a fishnet shirt. But I think this is really, really cute. I just was scared because I thought my entire screen recording just like didn't actually record, but we're good. Anyway, though, that is going to be it for today, guys. I do hope you were able to enjoy. I definitely want to hear what you think of my edits. If you think I did good, or if you think that I've destroyed these dolls, feel free to let me know, but just please be gentle because I am sensitive. But I definitely had fun doing this. Again, I think this is a really fun, like, little creative exercise that's kind of low stakes, but it's just interesting to do and kind of take a look at these dolls and see what I would have done if I was making some edits in the design for them. It's just like a fascinating exercise, and I really hope that you guys do enjoy it as well, because I would love to get to keep making more of these videos. Definitely let me know which one was your favorite. But yeah, like I said, hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night, or whatever it might be, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.